So yesterday I went to my local lab, Exposure Therapy, here in Brooklyn, to drop off a roll of film. And while I was there, I found this on the shelf, a color negative film stock that I'd never heard of before called ORWO NC400. And like many of you out there, I like to try as many film stocks as I can. So I thought, what the heck, let me try it out, see what this whole thing is about. And after doing a little bit of research, it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of information about this stuff. So what better way to get a grasp on what this film stock can and cannot do than just to go out and shoot it. And since the sun is coming down here in New York, I figure let's go for a walk, take some photos on this ORWO NC400 and see what comes out. So without further ado, let's get to it. Okay, I'm back. Before we look at any photos, what is this film and what can we expect from it? ORWO is short for Original Wolfen, and it's sort of an offshoot of AGFA. Proudly produced in Bitterfeld Wolfen, at its heart, NC400 is a cinema film. According to their website, it carries a unique chemical formula based on the legendary AGFA stock AGFA XT320. This film stock was used in films like Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, Out of Africa, and Who Framed Roger Rabbit. The film is specially balanced toward greens, desaturated shadows, and subtler grain than its sister film, NC500. And just like its sister film, NC400 offers an alternative to the current market stocks, boasting a distinct and exciting new palette with entirely different characteristics. So let's see if they can live up to that. Okay, so I am out for my walk, taking some photos, and one problem I'm running into is these, well, you can't see it, these goddamn clouds over here that are blocking all my sunlight. So I'm hoping that it clears up. I'm walking toward Brooklyn Bridge Park, and then I don't know where I go from there. Hopefully the sun comes back out when I get there. But we'll find out later in this video. Okay, so I got to Brooklyn Bridge Park, and as expected, clouds have not gone away. I'm probably not going to shoot very much more while the clouds are here. I've learned it's best to, if the sun doesn't come out, to just go home, try again, wait for the sun to come out, and yeah. So if the sun doesn't come out soon, I'm probably going to end up heading back home and try another day. Okay, so an update. I shot about 20-ish photos. Sun started going down, so I was losing light real quick. Decided to ride a bike home. Gonna go out later in the week and finish off the roll. But I'm pretty excited to see what I got. I think I got some bangers, but hopefully you'll have seen some of them already, and hopefully there's some more to come. So I look forward to that. So I ended up shooting the remainder of the roll with my model and musician friend, Isabella. Be sure to check out her music on Spotify or wherever you listen to music. It's wonderful. I'll put a link in the description. I didn't take any footage from this shoot, so let's just take a look at the photos. Okay, so right off the bat, we noticed that this film is very cool. Cool is in blue, just to be clear. In pretty much every shot, I had to adjust the white balance to warm it up. The next thing I noticed is that the grain is pretty prominent. If anyone was hoping for a grainless and sharp film stock, they may be best to look elsewhere. Something odd that I found was that the photos on ORWO's website promoting the film looked pretty different to mine. I guess I was expecting a bit more saturation and less contrast, especially in bright sunlight like I was shooting in. Instead, everything is a bit colder and vaguely reminiscent of Lomo Metropolis. The desaturation is a vibe for sure, but I don't know if it's necessarily my vibe. Not to throw shade at my lab or anything, but scanning and post-processing matters almost as much as the film emulsion itself. I bring that up not to say that my lab did anything wrong, but that variations are to be expected. While the colors are vibrant in my edited photos, full disclosure, I had to do a fair amount of color correcting on my end to draw them out in Lightroom. So if you don't mind tinkering in Lightroom with your scans and you're remotely a fan of what you see here, then this shouldn't be a problem. Alright, a bit of an update on the ORWO NC400. I ended up doing a little impromptu photo shoot with a friend of mine, Isabella, and I ended up shooting out the rest of that roll. On top of that, I decided to do something else, which was pick up the companion, the sister film to NC400, which is NC500, and do a little bit of a comparison to see how they look side by side. The photos are obviously going to be different, but we can sort of get a sense of what these two films do differently. So, like I said in that video, I picked up a roll of NC400's sister film, NC500, to give that a test as well. For this roll, I did a photo shoot with my friend Connor, and I tried during this shoot to expose the film to different scenarios and different conditions. One setup was under tungsten balanced lighting, another was outside in the sun, and a third was under daylight balanced artificial light, and I did some colorful stuff as well. Once again, I didn't take any footage from the photo shoot, so let's just take a look at the photos. Okay, so here we have something interesting. Frankly, I wasn't expecting much of a difference between these two, but what I got was pretty significant. Here we could see them side by side. So I'll note that the conditions aren't identical. In the left image, the sky was a little overcast without a lot of direct sunlight, while the right image was taken with beaming hot sunlight. With that in mind, we do still see a clear temperature difference. I had to cool down the left image and warm up the right to achieve this. Here, let's look at another example. Same situation, obviously the sky isn't blue in the left one, but you get the idea. And here they are post-edit. So here's the thing talking about a new film stock, or any film stock in general. There are so many variables. Sure, I could have gone out there with a color chart and shot each roll at different exposure levels, and I'm sure that video exists out there somewhere. But this is meant to be a real-world application and comparison. When we see the two side by side, pre-edit, we see the main differences, and in this example, I'm seeing that my results are a little different than what ORWO is claiming. NC400 is said to have a subtler grain, yet mine is significantly grainier than the NC500 that I shot. Now, Wolfen never claimed these to be true-to-life films, so the heavy and exaggerated grain structure is part of the appeal, I guess. Cleanliness and sharpness aren't really the goals of these films right out of the gate. As per their own press material, NC500 is intended to be an eccentric film that makes images with a nostalgic cinematic flair like lomography. I think I have to say that I like NC500 more than 400. The warmer tone just fits my personal preference, my personal palette, and overall my photos on that roll were sharper and less grainy. It is reminiscent of lomography, which shouldn't be surprising given that Invisicoat and ORWO manufacture their film. As many other YouTubers and film stock reviewers have noted, for all the flaws we may see in these new films that are coming out, like your Cinestill 400D or lomography, Lomocolor 92, the fact that they exist at all is something to be celebrated. Can I say that I would shoot ORWO NC400 or 500 again? Maybe, if the conditions were right. I won't forget to mention that the film is on the expensive end, currently sitting at $19 a roll on their website. So I'll leave it at this. It's not for everyone, and the pros and cons are going to vary from person to person. Personally, the cons are outweighing the pros, but that doesn't mean that you should dismiss this film altogether. If you have the means, what the heck, give it a shot. But if you're someone who's already fed up with the ridiculous film prices nowadays, I don't think you'll be missing out if you decide not to shoot either of these. Anyway, there you have it. Thank you so much for watching. If you have tried either of these, let me know what your experience was like. Would you shoot it again? Would you not shoot it again? Tell me why. I'm curious to see what other people think of ORWO NC400 and NC500. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell so that you're notified whenever a new video is uploaded, and I'll see you all next time.